Hey guys, it's Ron aka Ryan. Uh, it's just a little rant. Well, first of all, I know Ron is kind of a weird name. My first name's Ryan, my middle name's Edward. And when I was growing up as a kid, my dad used to holler Ron whenever I was in trouble, so that's kind of stuck. Anyway, has nothing to do with what I was going to talk about today. What I'm going to talk about today is probably a touchy subject with a lot of people, and it's politics. Now, it blows my mind at a lot of the things that the far left is doing. Whether it's trying to stand in the way of this border wall, or well, let's start with the Covington kids. They crucified these Covington kids for doing pretty much nothing. They were pretty much the victims in the situation, and yet they got doxxed, everything. And to make matters worse, even when the mainstream media realized their mistake, they go on NBC, and NBC throws softballs to this liar, the Native American gentleman who claimed to be a Vietnam vet, which wasn't, but besides that, he just flat out lied on these kids. Well, then when they interview the kid, she's like, don't you think you have something to apologize for? Well, just exactly what should he apologize for? Wearing a hat of a candidate that he likes? Or of a president that he likes? Okay, why should he have to apologize for that? For smiling? What should he have done? Flip the guy off? I don't understand. But anyway, that's that, and it's done and over with now. But now we're running into this issue with abortion. Now look, I'm strictly pro-life. I really am, truly. But that's my opinion. Now, part of me can see, during the first trimester, a woman having the right to choose. Okay, I can get that. But the minute that baby has a heartbeat, I have a real problem with abortion. And that's me. That's my opinion. But then when you look at some of these Democrats and what they're suggesting, like the governor of Virginia, and I just so happen to be from Virginia, and we'll get into that in a minute. Making the baby comfortable after it's been born, and then discussing whether or not to let it die. That's murder any way you look at it. I mean, that baby's done born. You can't argue that it's just a cluster of cells. Blah, blah, blah. And what I was talking about with me being from Virginia, I'm from southwestern Virginia. And, from Appalachia. And there is a lot of people, the vast majority of people in this area do not agree with the liberal politics at all. And they certainly do not agree with these late-term abortions. They don't. The vast majority of us don't. But when it comes election time, it really doesn't matter who we want in office, because you got eastern and northern Virginia that outnumber us dramatically, and they're always going to get their pick. I mean, hence the reason Northam is in whatever his name is the governor right now. There's a saying around here, and that is that according to Richmond, Virginia ends at Roanoke. And I don't know if you're familiar with the geography of Virginia, but Roanoke is, there's still another 300 miles or 150, 200 miles of Virginia left after Roanoke, but they don't count that because we live in the quote-unquote sticks. So they don't really listen to what we have to say or our ideas. They don't really count because we get outnumbered, and therefore we get outvoted on just about everything. That's why even though 90% of the people from this area voted for Trump, it still went to Hillary Clinton because we got outnumbered. It's still it's still being a blue state here lately. And that's just the way it is. But hey, that's politics, that's the way the system was designed, and ain't much you can really do about that. But when it comes to things like this abortion issue and the governor of Virginia going on television and saying stupid stuff like, letting a baby lay there and die after it's been born, even though it's, even though there's no, it's not, letting it lay there and die simply because it might have a deformity or something, or simply because the mother might not want it. We don't subscribe to that, man. And being from Virginia, I feel the need to make sure that everybody in the country doesn't think that all Virginians think this way, because I can assure you we do not. But there's a lot of things going on right now that we don't agree with, and the left is making the argument that walls don't work. Well, if walls don't work, then why do we have walls around prisons? We could, if you wanted just to do drones and things like that, well, we'll just protect prisons with drones. We'll see how well that goes. Don't put up walls around prisons, no fences, no nothing like that. Just drones. We'll see how long those prisoners stay in jail. I suspect not very long. So the argument that walls don't work, well, they're probably not going to stop 100% of them, but they'll certainly stop a large percentage of it, of illegal immigrants and especially drug traffickers and human trafficking. I realize that there's tunnels underneath the border. I'm not disputing that, but if we have those border walls up, then we can focus more of our attention to finding those tunnels and stopping them, But that's one of my arguments. I mean, there's several arguments to be made about it, and it really breaks down like this. The hard left in this country really don't have very good arguments. Democratic Party in general right now has no real argument. The only thing they agree on is they hate Trump. Well, that's not policy. That's just your opinion. I mean, that's nothing to run on. Just because you hate Trump and why they hate Trump, I have no idea. I don't understand. They call him racist. And if I've not seen that from him, I don't understand why they think that. And you ask them to point out one thing that he's done or said that makes him a racist, they can't do it. But when you've got the mainstream media day in and day out bashing the man for stupid stuff like how many scoops of ice cream he ate, or just silly little stuff like that, then of course they're if the mainstream media sits there and beats their audience to death with, you should hate Trump, you should hate Trump, you should hate Trump. Well, eventually they're going to hate Trump. But it's funny to me that nobody hated Trump till he ran for president. Everybody loved him till he ran for president. Then all of a sudden, Orange Man bad, I mean, go figure. Since their queen Hillary didn't make it, they hate him. But, I've come to the conclusion of this, with the whole Russian witch hunt and stuff like that. Sorry for the phone shaking and the camera shaking, whatever. the reason that the mainstream media and the left and a lot of the establishment Republicans freaked out when he won is because he is beholden to nobody. He didn't take a bunch of campaign contributions from a bunch of lobbyists that he made promises to. The only promises he made was to the American people. He used mostly his own money to get into the presidency, so nobody owns him. So he doesn't owe anybody any favors except for the American people who voted for him. That's me and a lot of people like me. And I hate to tell people, but there were 60 million people like me that voted for him. So when you get to thinking about it and you want to talk about how people that voted for Trump are stupid, I venture to guess that all 60 million of us that voted for him are not stupid. Now, us in the South, we might talk slow, but it doesn't mean we're stupid. It means we're thinking before we speak. Something that some of the other people in this country should do a little bit more of, thinking before they speak. But I digress. You know, this country is in some serious trouble, and I think it's in more trouble than most people realize. You got record cold temperatures this week, and they keep hollering global warming, and they're blocking out the sun with the chemtrails. It's funny, the Harvard come out with this article saying we're going to start experimenting with blocking out the sun by spraying stuff in the air. Well, you've been doing it for 20 years, but you're just now going to start trying? Okay. Yeah, I buy that, you know. Craziness, man. You know, it's been no secret that the deep state and like a lot of these people from the Bilderberg Group and places like the EU, they want to decrease population. Hence, they spray all these chemicals in the air, put up 5G to give everybody cancer that's already alive. Then they step up the abortions, the amount of abortions allowed in this country, and when you can get abortions so that more babies are aborted. Well, and then rumor has it that some of these vaccines are not as above board as they lead you to believe. So that's another way that they can control the population, you know. I mean, think about it. It is not in Big Pharma's best interest to cure you of anything. If anything, they want to let you see a few improvements, but let you continue to stay sick so you continue to buy the medicine. That's how they make money. If you're cured, you don't need the medicine any longer, they're not getting any money off of you anymore. It's just simple economics, supply and demand. If they cure you, there's no longer a demand. It's just as simple as that, you know. Now, I realize that's conspiracy. I get that. But it's also, just because it sounds like conspiracy doesn't mean it's not true. Now, you take people like Alex Jones, who likes to talk, likes to spread the truth. Now, I realize that he's eccentric and he's out there, and I don't agree with everything he says. I mean, he can get out there on some tangents. But I honestly believe that the biggest reason they deplatformed him all over social media, pretty much, is because he speaks the truth. And they don't want you to know the truth. You know, I mean, if you're speaking the truth and this is stuff they're trying to hide, naturally they're going to find a way to keep people from hearing your message. And that's what they've done with Alex Jones. Like I said, don't agree with everything Alex Jones says, but I do believe he has the right to say it wherever he wants. Now, that's just me, and apparently those on the left who are so tolerant don't agree with me, but We've established now what I think about the hard left. And I tend to believe that there's many Democrats that are disgusted with some of the things that the hard left is doing, especially pushing this, socialism. I mean, for God's sake, look at Venezuela, what's happening down there. I mean, it's been proven time and time again socialism doesn't work. And they say, well, it hasn't ever been implemented the right way. It's never implemented the right way because it's the wrong system of economics. Capitalism has brought more people out of poverty than any other system has. And that's a proven fact. And if you put socialism into a country, productivity will disappear. If you make the same amount of money as anybody else, then what's pushing you to be better? If somebody out here, if anybody out here can sit on their butt, do nothing all day, and make the same amount of money as anybody else that's working, busting their butt, you think the person busting their butt's going to bust their butt very much longer? I don't think so. That's what happens with socialism. The innovation disappears. The drive to work hard disappears. There's no incentive anymore to work hard or to innovate because you're still not going to get ahead in life. You might feel more pride and satisfaction in yourself, but that's not going to be enough. It's just not. It's not as enough of a motivator to continue to push innovation. Now, like I said, all this is my opinions, but I think that they're very common opinions, at least with a lot of people over there, across this country. And to be so disrespected as to have a lot of these liberals claim that we're all stupid is quite frankly ridiculous. I mean, it just is. The younger generation is getting indoctrinated in our schools as liberals. They have mostly liberal professors in college and even liberal teachers in high school that are indoctrinating them with these beliefs that, quite frankly, are just not rooted in fact, and it's sad to see. It's sad to see. Our education system's going to crap. I mean, I'll give you an example. My nephew, he's 19 now, but he just graduated a couple of years ago. Him and his girlfriend was over at my mother's house the other day, and just out of curiosity, I asked him. I said, who fought in the Civil War? And neither him or his girlfriend, either one, could tell me who fought in the Civil War. I said, well, who won the Civil War? They said, we did. I said, who's we? They didn't know it was the North against the South. They didn't have any idea who fought in the Civil War. They didn't have any idea about anything of the Civil War. When I told them, you would have thought that my head fell off my shoulders because they just looked at me so funny. I was like, yeah, brothers were fighting brothers, cousins fighting cousins. I said, we were fighting each other. I said, it was a mess. So, if they're not teaching the basics of just American history in general in school, what are they teaching? I've got a couple of teachers in my family, and they say the only thing they got time to teach the kids right now is how to pass those stupid SOL, standardized learning tests. Well, if you're spending your entire experience in school just learning to pass a test, that's not really learning. At least, not a very effective way of learning. It has to be redone. I mean, it has to be. I mean, we're graduating a lot less intelligent kids today than we did 20, 30 years ago. And it's sad. It's really sad. It's no wonder we're, declining in academic performance when compared to the rest of the world. I can't understand why it's been allowed to go on this way. But that's that. You know, as y'all know, I'm a relatively small channel right now, but I am trying to grow my channel. My laptop blew up. I'm trying to raise a little money to get a new laptop. So right now all my videos are having to be done just over my phone, which is difficult, especially when you're wanting to do some screen sharing and showing things, you know, in videos that you know, you can't really do with a phone. I really need a new laptop, and if you like what I have to say, and you like what I do, and you've got the means to, and I know money's tight these days. Trust me, if anybody knows, I do. But if you can help, I would appreciate it if you would go to PayPal.me/RYAN78, RYANED78, R is capitalized, capital RYANED 78, and I'll leave that in the description below too. I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I'm in desperate need of a new laptop, and hopefully I can bring y'all some better quality stuff in the future. But if you like my content, I do a lot of stuff talking about Vegas. You know, I'll be doing a lot of stuff on politics. You know, and I'll try to be as objective as I can when I see even when I see Donald Trump screwing up, I'll say so. But yeah, in general, I just you know, I just want to speak the truth as best I can, you know, and get y'all's feedback in the comment section, you know. Which brings me to another thing, you know, this QAnon deal. I just now remembered that. I've been following what QAnon posts now for over a year. Do I believe QAnon is real? Well, yes and no. I'm not completely convinced of who QAnon is, but whether he is just some person pretending to be something they're not, you know, not necessarily a LARP, but more of, you know, and not really a scammer per se, but just trying to embellish who they are and their position. Whether that's true or not, the QAnon movement itself has awakened a whole lot of people to what's going on in this country. You know, I mean, whether you like Q or not, or whether you believe that he's the real deal or not, you know, it still has brought a lot of people to wake up and realize that there is a deep state, and that there is a shadow government, and there is things out there that we need to take seriously and be worried about. Do I agree with being dishonest and misrepresenting yourself if that's what's going on? No, absolutely not. I would never condone that. But if that is what's going on, and like I said, I'm not sure it is, but if that is what's going on, well, at least some good came out of it by waking some people up across the country and across the world as to what the globalists want, and that's one world government, you know. And I hate to tell you, America, but if the globalists get what they want, and we're one world government, in other words, the whole government is governed by one governing body of non-elected people, I might add, America becomes the military of that one world government. That's what they'll use us for, because we've already got the equipment and the personnel. America's military is the best. They know that. That's what they'll use us for. And that's not a good thing. Losing your sovereignty as a country in general is not a good thing, let alone becoming a one world government and expecting us to have the same principles as other cultures in other regions of the world. It's crazy. I mean, we all seen what happens when a lot of these third world country cultures clash with American culture. You see that what happens. You know, it's a mess. It's not a good thing. That goes back to the whole border wall issue. If you import the third world, eventually you turn into the third world. It's just the way it is. You know, I hate to be that way, but it's the truth, you know. And that's not racist, because I don't care what race you are. You know, there's third world countries with several different races. It has nothing to do with that. You know, but if you import the third world, you'll eventually become the third world, because a lot of these cultures refuse to assimilate to American culture. You know, I don't mind the immigrants coming here and bringing part of their culture with them, but they, as long as they still integrate into our culture and just want to add to it a little bit, that's fine. But, you know, adding to it a little bit and trying to take it over is two different things, and that's not going to work. You know, but that's me, and we need that border, y'all. We need that border wall, and Trump's going to bring it to us. So, for those conservatives who have trashed Trump over his supposed caving on the government shutdown, well, the government's going to shut back down on February 15th. He's just using these 3 weeks to prove to the American people and to the left's constituents that they're the problem, not us. They're the ones being unreasonable, not President Trump. He's gave them every opportunity to compromise on this deal. They're refusing to. He's told them over and over again the wall's getting built whether they like it or not. They still refuse to compromise. So it's their own fault if the wall gets built and they get nothing they want. Well, I think I've ranted long enough. Like I said, you know, give me a thumbs up, share and subscribe to this video if you want, and consider contributing to the PayPal account, man. If you got the means. I mean, that is. Obviously I don't want anybody putting themselves in a bind to help me out, but you know, it would really help me to build this channel. That's really what I want, is to try to build this channel up a little bit, and if y'all can help me do that, that'd be awesome. So I'll make you that deal, though. You help me build the channel, and I'll shoot straight. I'll give you my opinion and let you know what's opinion and what is fact, and you'll be able to distinguish the two. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, have a good week, rest of the weekend. Hope you enjoy the Super Bowl if you're so inclined to watch it. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.